Sorry we're getting started a little late. I was over there chatting. I thought Chris Bazar is starting this off, and he told me I'm starting it off. Okay, so good afternoon. It's a glorious afternoon here in Cherryland. All my Cherryland constituents, raise your hand. Let's give a shout out, Cherryland. All right, Cherryland. I love it. I love it. You know, before I ran for office, somebody would ask me Cherryland. I said, "What are you talking about, Cherryland?" I don't know where any Cherryland is, but having represented this area for 18 years, I definitely know Cherryland. I appreciate Cherryland. I value Cherryland. I love Cherryland. And it's taken a long time to get us to this place of groundbreaking for this community center. It's been a long journey, a lot of work on the part of a lot of people, and I'm extremely proud of the county staff, the Cherryland community, HARD, GSA, all who have worked with us to get us to this point. And I know there'll be remarks from different people throughout the course of this groundbreaking. Let me just initially say that, you know, the Cherryland Community Center, it came out of our Eden Area Livability Initiative that I launched in 2006. Lucy Wicks was on my staff at the time, and she was the coordinator for this effort. And, you know, she works at Stanford now, head of director of community affairs for Stanford. But Lucy launched this for me in 2006, and we had redevelopment money at the time, and we thought this would be one of our priority projects as a result of a charrette with over nearly 400 people. It's one of our 5 priority projects, and we wanted to be completed by 2013. And lo and behold, our governor, present governor, who I served with when I was on the Oakland City Council, who I've known for many, many years, decided to pull out the resources from redevelopment, and that really caused a wrinkle in our plans and threw us off for years. And so it's taken a while to get to this place, and I was just really pleased that the Board of Supervisors continued to have this as a Tier 1 project and allocated the $20+ million, $22 million in fact, for this project. And the project kind of became a project for both our former redevelopment department and also our general services agency. So this is where we are today. The building that's going to be constructed here, it's at this location, but before we settled on this location, working with the community and the RDA staff, redevelopment staff, you know, we toured a number of sites for a possible location for this facility in Cherryland. We actually went and visited a number of possible types of community centers. You know, we went to Livermore. We looked at virtual centers, you know, like we looked at San Leandro's. We looked at other centers and how they were all put together, what services and activities they had. So, you know, so we did a lot of homework before we settled on this site and the composition of this particular center. And as I said, this project is going to cost about $22 million. But there have been other investments in Cherryland that I'm really proud of. I'm extremely proud of. And, you know, I'm just thankful that I've been able to be the county supervisor for these many years to see these investments come into Cherryland. Because when I started as county supervisor, Cherryland, and some of those folks are shaking their head, they didn't have good stories about the county. I think we've turned the corner on some of that, but we don't want to rest on our laurels. But we've put in over $20 million in sidewalks in Cherryland over the years. We just last year opened up a new Cherryland fire station, and that was $9 million. First fire station that was opened up by the county, new in about 40 years. We're going to be doing undergrounding of utilities, and we've completed some of that undergrounding. That was another $30 million. And then we're doing over on Meekland Avenue a streetscape project, which is another $7 million. So all told, and some other minor things here and there, we're talking about close to $100 million of investment in Cherryland. And I think that's really, really fantastic. So we should give us all a round of applause. In order to do this journey, we've had some really good support from members of other jurisdictions that have worked with us and been very supportive of us. Just want to acknowledge them. First person I'll acknowledge who's sitting here in the front row is Assemblyman Bill Quirk. Bill? And I know when we started this, Bill wasn't Assemblyman. He was on the Hayward City Council. So, you know, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. So then we have a representative from Senator Wachowski's office, Miriam Brosnan. Miriam. And I know at the time Bob Wachowski wasn't a senator, so he's now a senator. Bill's now Assemblyman. I'm still just a county supervisor. But I love it. I want to, there are a number of members from the Cherryland Community Association. Why don't you raise your hand, the Cherryland Community Association, raise your hand and stand up to be recognized. And I think Cindy's now the chair of the association. Right here, Cindy. And Cherryland Community Association, we check in with them all the time on everything related to Cherryland. Everything related to Cherryland. And then, it's been my pleasure to work with HARD over the years since I've been the county supervisor. Lou Andrade's on the HARD board, but, Lou was a former county employee in the planning department for the county. And when I was first running, Lou drove me around Cherryland. He's the one who introduced me to Cherryland, kind of telling me everything about Cherryland when I was running and campaigning for office. So Lou Andrade's here. Rick Hatcher, where's Rick? Rick's here from the HARD board. Carol, where's Carol? Is she here? Carol, okay, there's Carol. And then Paul and Menina Jameson, is she here? Yes. Where is she? Oh, there she is with that hat. Wow, she's incognito back there with that hat, those sunglasses on. So the HARD board, they've been really good partners. Let's give them a round of applause. As I said, they've been partners on this project. They're partners with us on the Ashland Reach Center. That's a youth campus. They've been partners with us on recreation parks and other facilities that are recreation oriented throughout the unincorporated area. So we're really, really pleased to have HARD as a partner, both on this facility as well as other things in the past. And before I turn it over to Chris Bazar, I just want to, okay. Let me just acknowledge a few other folks because it's not on the sheet here. We've got Willie Hopkins. Willie's the head of our General Services Agency. He's got the hat on there. We have Melissa Wilkes. Where's Melissa? Melissa's with the auditor's office and running to be the county's auditor over there. Melissa. Let's see. Any other county department heads, agency heads? Rachel with the Arts Commission. Rachel's always making sure we have all the art for our projects. And I guess that's all of the county people. Oh, and Cindy back there, our librarian, the head of our library, Cindy back there. Okay, good. And we really appreciate the entire county family helping us with all these projects. Because, for the unincorporated area, we are the government. And I really pride myself on saying, if we can't make it work here, then we shouldn't be telling other jurisdictions how to run their business in Alameda County if we can't do things right here in the unincorporated community. So I'm really pleased about that. Oh, well, Eileen Dalton will be introduced by Chris Bazar. So I'm going to bring Chris Bazar up here, the head of our Community Development Agency.
Thank you, Supervisor Miley. I can't compete with Eileen, but we'll bring her up in a moment. So, of course, the reason I'm here today on behalf of the Community Development Agency is because our redevelopment agency, which doesn't exist anymore, was at the heart of this project, as you all know. And we worked for years with the Cherryland community to vision what you would like to see in this area. And the community center was one of our key projects. And, we were primed as a redevelopment agency back in the early 2000s into roughly 2010, getting ready to build a number of projects. And then, as Supervisor Miley mentioned, right around that time, the state pulled the rug out of redevelopment. So it was a shock for us. It was a shock for the community. And I just have to give great credit to Supervisor Miley, Supervisor Chin, and the whole Board of Supervisors, because they did something fairly unprecedented statewide. They allocated up to $90 million to go back into the unincorporated county so that this project and a number of others, including the fire station and sidewalks projects and a number of other things that just wouldn't have happened under any other scenario and really didn't happen throughout much of the rest of the state of California. So I really want to thank them for their support. And thank you all for your patience, because we thought we would be up here a lot sooner than this, but we're just delighted to be here today. So I think all of you know probably better than I do a lot of the details about where we are today, but just to mention, of course, right behind us is the Meek Estate. As a young intern in the planning department years ago, this is one of the first places we ever saw and came out to, and it's just thrilling for me that we have that part of this as part of this project. I think you all probably know we purchased, as the redevelopment agency, the Hampton Road parcel way back in 2009. And so, we've got the Meek Estate, and then we've got two adjacent residential parcels. So we purchased those. Those have been abandoned for a long time. And then Hard came in subsequently in 2013 and purchased the Boston Road piece. So, I think that's part of the story here, too. We really appreciate the collaboration with Hard, and they've been great partners throughout this. We then, in 2011, there was money secured at that point thanks to the Board of Supervisors' action, and we were able to contract then with a Berkeley-based firm called Knoll & Tam Architects, and they did the design for the facility. As a lot of you know, there was a series of public meetings, and there was bus tours, and there's surveys of the broader community, and it all came together to identify, I think, a very appropriate design that fits in with the character of this neighborhood. And the building that you're going to see, I think it's really, as a city planner, it really excites me because I think it's respectful of the residential character of the neighborhood. It really references the buildings of the area and, the agrarian past of Cherryland, what's historically been. So we're thrilled with the design, and I think you'll all be very pleased. If you haven't seen a lot of the drawings and everything, please go around today and check those out. I know our GSA director will be up shortly, and he will tell you a bit more about the specifics. But I did want to thank several folks first. First of all, Pastor Leva of the Iglesias de Diaz in the parking lot across the street. If you parked over there, it's thanks to them who allowed us to do the overflow parking. So thank you so much for that. And my staff, some of whom are now actually retired, but I want to acknowledge them. Wayne Bailey, who did come back today. I think Marita did not get up here. Marita Heroyak, who a lot of you know, she is retired and living down in Southern California now. But we want to thank her. Jamie Orfanos, many of you know Jamie. And, of course, Eileen Dalton. Eileen, take an extra bow. Our former redevelopment director, now the director of economic and civic development. They're still doing really good things for the unincorporated county. And I know a lot of you still work with Eileen. So thanks to my staff. And with that, I'll introduce our GSA director, Willie Hopkins.
Good afternoon. I almost want to say good morning because it appears to be a new day in Cherryland. In the short time I've been a part of the Alameda County team, this is actually my second opportunity to present a new project to this community, and I think that's a great thing. Just to give a little bit about the highlights of the Cherryland Community Center, it will be a 17,000 square foot facility that will house multi-use and movement rooms, pre-K activity rooms, a reading room that will be operated by our Alameda County Library Annex, a large community room with a catering kitchen and adjoining courtyard, which can accommodate up to 250 people. The county will construct and own the facility. Hard will manage the program operations and maintenance. To accommodate a higher parking demand of the facility, the project also includes expansion and improvements of the nearby parking lot on the Meek Estate. The parking lot for up to 20 cars will also be built on the community center site. The nearby Meek Estate parking lot, which now has a 56-car capacity, will be reconfigured and expanded to hold up to 104 cars for special events at the community center. And most importantly, in keeping with Alameda County's leadership in local and nationally, the building is a sustainable building. It will have a LEED certification rating of silver. The infrastructure for future electric charging station and future solar panels, water-efficient landscaping and bay-friendly planting. Project parcels were cleaned up in accordance with the strictest California state requirements, addressing contamination and historical agricultural use. Both sides in the Mika State parking lots are designed to improve stormwater runoff. And as Supervisor Miley acknowledged earlier, Ms. Osajima and the Arts Commission has been heavily involved in this process. And as a part of the county's ongoing public arts program, the center will also have public artwork. Community members were encouraged to participate throughout the art selection process. And we were able to select 5 local artists who were hired to make new, unique artwork. There will be small frame artwork inside the center and artistic design incorporated into the architectural canopy. The artwork is inspired by the nature and Cherryland community's history. Also, I can't end this presentation without thanking an amazing staff, and not only an amazing staff in the General Services Agency, but also the collaboration that has taken place within our government with the Community Development Agency, again, the Arts Council, and many, many others that we collaborated to make this a successful project for this community. So we have our General Services staff members in the back, and I have to start with this guy because he's the one that makes all land acquisition possible, who's Mr. John Yu, who is over our real property division. And then we have Mr. Brian Lacko and Ms. Rona Rothenberg, who's been key leaders on this project. And probably one of the most important players in our agency is Ms. Dolly Bryant, who is really the go-to person for everything that really makes us look good. So I have to thank them. But thank you. So I know it's been a long, hard road that's transpired over the last 5 years, but again, without that collaboration and teamwork, we couldn't have made this possible. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Paul McCreary. Mr. Paul McCreary is the HARD General Manager, and he will be making the next presentation. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Supervisor Miley, for including HARD in the celebration today. Well, I've only been with the district for about 2 years now. I've been following this amazing project for many years before that, and really am pleased to see it coming to fruition. So anytime you get 2 government agencies together and all their departments and their commissions and their processes, it can become difficult to work some projects forward. I've been truly amazed at the partnership we've had with Alameda County in this project moving forward. The county staff are very creative professionals on all their departments. They've been diligent about keeping HARD involved in the design of the project and the bidding of the project. So we thank you for your dedication to that vision. I also want to recognize some of our own staff from HARD who've been involved in this project for many years as well. That includes Carrie Ely, our Recreation Superintendent, Dan Giamona, our Parks and Maintenance Superintendent, Megan Tiernan, our Capital Director, Debbie Hernandez, our Recreation Supervisor, Vicente Zuniga, our Recreation Coordinator, and then one of our retirees is here today, Larry Lepore, who had involvement in this project as well. So I want to recognize all of them and thank them. So we are excited to see this new community center in Meek Park become the new town square and the town hall for Cherryland. As a member of the California Parks and Recreation Society, we have a motto of Parks Make Life Better. Let's hear you guys say that. Parks make life better. Parks make life better. Nolan Tam did an outstanding job with the design of this facility. It's going to develop a sense of place and identity for Cherryland, much like our community centers have done in the other areas of Alameda County, including Ashland, Cass Valley, Fairview, and San Lorenzo. This combination of new indoor community space and outdoor areas at Meek Park will create a set of gathering spaces that can be used year-round. It's a unique opportunity for us to connect this multicultural community through recreation, educational, social programs, and just plain out relaxation. HARD committed early on to work in partnership with Alameda County to provide programming and community access to this new center. This spring, we'll be conducting several community meetings and an online survey to determine the preferences the residents have for programs and services at the new facility. We will advertise these meetings on our website as well as a survey, and be sure to also inform the Cherryland Community Association. The district looks forward to collaborating with Alameda County and the library system on programming in their satellite branch that will be part of the community center. The strength of this partnership between Alameda County hard, as well as the Cherryland Community Association, has made this desperately needed facility become a reality. We also want to thank the neighbors, our newest friends here on either side of us, adjacent to us, for their support of this project as well as their patience during construction. We are committed as a district to support the construction project, and we really look forward to the grand opening. So, see you then. Thank you.
Well, before I conclude, I want to have Cindy come up as president of the Cherryland Community Association to make some remarks.
Hello. I'm Cindy Tolles, president of the Cherryland Community Association. And to say that we're delighted is an understatement. You should have seen the happy dance that me and Vice President Cindy Torres did at our general meeting that night when we heard the news this was finally going to happen. From a personal perspective, kind of building on what Paul just said, that it's needed to have a central location, a town plaza. And personally, I can tell you why. A good portion of my family brought property and moved to Cherryland in the 1930s, when William Meek's orchards were subdivided into house lots and farmlets that apparently you could buy one for a down payment of $95. My grandfather and great-grandfather, Frank and Rufus Gonzalez, built the house that I now live in on Mission Boulevard, as well as the next two houses down that were for my grandfather's sisters and their families. My grandmother's brother lived a block behind us on Montgomery, and my grandmother's sister lived on the southern end of Western until she bought the house behind her on Peralta and moved into that. So my ancestors immigrated from the Azores Islands and the Madeira Islands, and when they got here, they joined what was already a well-established, thriving Portuguese community. And it was a community. They had a strong social structure, civic clubs, and the IDES fraternal organization. Back then, Cherryland was both community and family. Progress in many ways was not kind to Cherryland. When my family bought this land, our stretch of Mission Boulevard was still called East 14th Street, and it was still a dirt road. The automobile age resulted in Mission Boulevard eventually becoming a state highway which people sped by our little businesses. The Cherryland Community Association was and is a grassroots organization which was started by a group of homeowners who fell in love with the community and were concerned when charming homes were torn down and replaced by ugly apartment buildings. Or they became rental properties. My sheet's blowing around. They were replaced by rental properties as the original owners, aged and passed away or moved away. This increasing housing instability caused the community to become more transient and more fragmented. With our section of the business district in tatters, not only did we not have a focal point for our community, we didn't even have much of a community, as remaining homeowners sort of retreated in isolation. When my grandmother passed away 3 decades ago, and my parents downsized to move in the house I now live in, my dad put lattice work over the windows and added another driveway gate closer to the street so that prostitutes did not conduct business in our driveway. And we are so grateful. In addition to everybody that's been thanked already today, it goes double for us. But we are so grateful that eventually Alameda County stepped up and launched Eli. I was not part of phase 1 of Eli, but many people, many of my colleagues, and other fine people that I know were. And it has been said already, this community center project was one of the projects that came out of that process. Yes, we know there were delays because of the dissolving of redevelopment and shortfalls in expected residual property taxes in the years following. But now, the day we have long anticipated is here. This milestone is a landmark occasion because it brings us one step closer to our origins as a close-knit community and will be a much-needed focal point for our civic, cultural, and recreational uses. And our community association will finally have a permanent location for our meetings and somewhere to store our assets other than my basement and my garage. Don't get me wrong, I very much enjoyed the family vibe that was present at our first meeting at Cherryland Elementary, our first general meeting at Cherryland Elementary Tuesday night. It was great. It was like family, you know? And we will always have the option of meeting at other locations, but it's great to have a home. So please join me, the community of Cherryland, and our association as we collectively and figuratively put on our ruby red slippers, click our heels 3 times, and say, "There's no place like home."
Thank you, Cindy. That was beautiful. That was lovely. I want to acknowledge Rita from the Orloma Sanitary District. She's another elected official over there. Rita, raise your hand so people can see you. Okay. And, Lane, I just want to mention, Lane's been holding meetings around the Cherryland Community Center and also the Cherryland Fire Station for maybe the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Yeah, with the county team and with HARD to try to, first of all, get the fire station built and constructed, and now this facility. And we're going to miss Lane. He retired. They brought him back to kind of just help with this, and now once this project's over with, I guess he can really retire because he would have delivered on 2 major projects for the community. Really appreciate the work of Lane. I see Larry over there, retired from HARD as well. Thank you, Larry, for your time with this and other projects and working with you over the years. So, I think people understand. I find groundbreakings to be a joyous time. People are happy. It's good to have hard hats, bulldozers, cranes. I mean, this one even looks new. You have to break it in because this is just a great day, and it shows progress when we can do things like this. So I think where's Jamie? She's the one who orchestrates these things. So what's next, Jamie? The actual groundbreaking?
Yes.
Give us instructions.
Okay. All right.
One other thing. This project came in under bid, right, Willie? It came in under bid. We were really concerned about that. It came in under bid. And there's a lot of construction going on throughout the Bay Area, so we're really pleased when this came in under bid. So we're expecting a great job here with this facility.
All right, so we'd like to have the speakers all come up and take the first picture. So all of our VIP speakers, and then also if Mr. Quirk could join us as well as Miriam, that would be wonderful. And then after all the speakers take a picture with the lovely gold shovels, then we're going to kind of go down the list. HARD will take pictures. Our department will take pictures. GSA, the Cherryland Community Association,